Some people want it all, but I don't want nothing at all. If it ain't you, baby. If I don't. Gotta make sure the titties are popping for that thumbnail. Hey, what's up, you guys? It is Eva, and today I'm here with a story time. Today, I'm gonna tell you about the time that my dad was accused of being a kidnapper, specifically of kidnapping me. So when I was younger, I lived in this town that wasn't as nice as the one that I live in today. It wasn't as clean, the people weren't as wealthy, and it was a lot smaller. So when I was in 5th grade, there was this rumor going around that some girl had gotten kidnapped. She told everyone that she had gotten kidnapped by a man in a white van. And we all believed her. We were like, yeah, who the fuck would lie about being kidnapped? Who the fuck lies about that, you know? So for the next month, there were police cars everywhere. They were patrolling the neighborhoods, they were at the schools, they were in the park, they were everywhere. And so every time, I'm not fucking kidding you, every time a white car, not even a white van, a white car drove past our school while we were at recess, everyone would start flipping shit. Like, oh my god, we're gonna get kidnapped, there's a fucking white van, we're gonna die, we're all gonna die. And I was like, what? That's not even a fucking van, you dumbasses. And there was one time when people from the news came to my house and they were like, can we speak to your parents? We'd like to interview them. And I was like, yo, mom, there's some bitches at the door to talk to you. And she made them go away because she didn't want to be on the news. So anyway, my dad drove this big ass white van, like a work truck. If you've ever seen Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the original one, not the one with the ugly ass Broderick, fuck that, the one with the hot Broderick. The van that he drives, his band's van, it was like that. It was big and the whole back was empty and there were the 2 seats in the front. And he's had that since I was born. I don't even know. People saw him drive it every fucking day. He would drive me to school, he would drive me to my friend's house, parties, whatever. Not that I went to parties when I was in 5th grade, what the fuck. But one time when he was driving me to school, we're just driving down my street, we had just pulled out of my driveway, and this fucking cop stops us. And she is so tiny. The least intimidating cop I've ever seen in my entire life. She looked like a Barbie. She had blonde hair and she was all perfect and shit, slim thick, you know, the whole 9 yards. And she stops the car and asks my dad to roll down his window. So he rolls down his window and he's looking at her and he's all trying to look hot, hey baby, how are you? Because he thinks she's hot or some shit. And she's just ignoring him. And she looks at me and she goes, honey, do you know this man? And I was like, yeah, bitch, he's my dad. What the fuck do you want? And she was like, well, just due to the recent kidnapping, we're just checking all the white vans to make sure that no one else is getting kidnapped. And my dad is like, oh, I've lived in this town for fucking 6 years. I've had this van since before this daughter was born. What the fuck? And she's like, well, I just got here today, so I don't know. And she walks away and she gets back into her little cop car with her bubble butt, whatever. And my dad rolls back up his window and he looks at me. He looks at his 11-year-old daughter. 11-year-old daughter! And he goes, would it be inappropriate if I asked her out? Would it be inappropriate if I asked her out? Did you actually just ask your 11-year-old daughter if it would be inappropriate to ask out this cop? What? Uh-huh. Hey dad, it's Good Parenting Incorporated. They want their certificate back. What? What? By the way, my parents are divorced and he wasn't cheating, I swear. But still, that was a wild ass fucking day for 11-year-old Eva. She got pulled over, she got accused of being kidnapped, and then her dad asked her if it would be inappropriate to ask out a cop who she's never met before. Carry the 7 minus 4. Something just doesn't add up. So a couple weeks go by and I'm telling all my friends about this thing that happened. I'm like, oh my god, my dad got pulled over. Isn't that so funny? They thought he kidnapped me. And all the people in my grade were like, oh my god, whoa, Eva's dad got pulled over. Whoa, whoa. I was a legend for 3 days there, you know? It was the coolest thing to happen all year. You know, my happy ass is acting all traumatized and I'm talking to the boy that I I'm yeah, it was really scary, you know, I don't really know what to trying to act all innocent and cute and like, like, I'm so scared. Didn't fucking work, obviously, because I'm a piece of shit, but. And so eventually talk about how my dad got pulled over kind of like dies down. People aren't talking about it anymore. People aren't really talking about the girl who got kidnapped. Like, it's still, people are still like aware, but nobody's really like, oh my god, we're gonna get kidnapped. Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. That's a white van. We're gonna get fucking kidnapped. Holy shit. Oh my god. All of these months after this girl is like, I got kidnapped by somebody in a white van. Like, he tried to rape me. I almost died. She comes forward and we find out it wasn't true. She made up the whole thing. She made up the whole thing. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? You made up getting kidnapped? Like, what? Who does that? 5 years later, and I'm still salty that this bitch lied about getting kidnapped and got away with it. Like, what the fuck? Nobody was like, hey dude, what the fuck? Like, why'd you lie about that? Everyone was like, oh my god, we're so glad that the town is safe. No one was like, hey, like, why'd you tell everyone you got kidnapped when, like, you really didn't? I wish for death. So, yeah. That's the time I was allegedly kidnapped, even though I, like, fucking wasn't kidnapped. And, started a scandal in 5th grade. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video, motherfuckers. Peace out.